Welcome back once again to CSC 151 Computer Applications. In this video, I'm going to be going over how we can convert different data types. So let me just first get rid of all this. Let me just start off with just simply two things. X, and X will equal, 99, and Y will equal 1. Okay, so obviously we can tell already 99 is an integer, and 1, despite being a number, notice how it has quotes around it, is actually text. It is actually a string. So, and to prove that, I will simply print out, x plus x, and there we go, it gives me 198. And at the same time, if I were to simply print out, y plus y, I get 11, because it's literally the string of 1 printed twice. Whatever you have quotes on is actually a string. And if I were to try to do this, and I were to try to say x plus y, that's not gonna work, because 1's a number and 1 is text. It won't work. And that's just generally how that can be a situation where we have ourselves a problem. However, we can do something like this, and I can prove this two different ways. Okay, so instead of saying x plus y, I can do this. I can make a z. I can make a new variable. And I can make z equal to int of y. I can literally change that y, that 1 string, into the integer of y. So, once again, if we look at this, there's the start of my integer, there's the end of my integer. Ergo, anything inside those parameters is an integer. So if I have the integer of y, that is no longer text, that is now a 1. So if I were to print out, x plus z, I'll get 100, because now that 1 will be counted as a 1. Now, note, this will not work if I try to, make this the integer of, banana. Because how do you turn the word banana into an integer? It doesn't work. So this would only work in a situation where the string itself is already just in number format. Now, the other way I could wind up doing that, if we just got rid of z entirely, so I have myself my x and my plus, but instead of doing x plus z, I could do x plus the integer of y. Same sort of general concept. Here's the start of my print statement, end of my print statement. Here's the start of my integer, the end of my integer. Therefore, I have x plus the integer of y. And I get my 100. Now, same thing if I did this in reverse. We know that having two strings will give me just those strings right back to each other. So I could do the same thing in reverse. I could make the str of x, make it the string of x. So now, that's not an integer. That will now be the start of a string, end of a string. It will be text of 99 plus text of 1. It'll be a string plus a string. And that'll give me 991, which is exactly what I thought it would do. So, that's just switching things back and forth how we want it to be. Now, I'll bring z back into this, just to make a point, because I'll make z equal to the Boolean of x. Okay? So it's the bool of x. Now, you're wondering probably what's going on right now, because a bool is either true or false. Well, here's the thing. True in mathematics is 1, and false equals 0. So if I were to say, print, x plus z, I should, in theory, get 100. because if something exists, it is true. So when I say I'm looking at the Boolean of x, I'm saying, does this number exist? Yes or no? If yes, it is now equal to 1. So I literally just said, hey, I want 99 plus 1. And I can even do that in reverse if I want to say that this is a y. Does this string physically exist? Yes or no? Yes, it's 1. So I'll get the same result, 99 plus 1. And there it is. It's still the same exact results. So that's generally how that winds up working. Now then, if we wanted to do a float, we could do that as well. So if I wanted to say I want to have z equal, I don't know, the float of x, I would just type out FOLOAT, float of x. Same thing as before, start of my float, end of my float. So it will now, in theory, give me a decimal point at the end of this. And yes, it did. It gave me decimal points. So I have 99 plus the float of 99 to give me 198.0. Because now, instead of just being a whole number, I've gained the ability to wind up having, this. Or if I want to do the float of y, because once again we're in number format, that should give me 100. And there we go, 100.0 in order to make this a float. So yeah, we can switch and flop these back and forth simply by typing float or bool or str or int in order to convert them from one data point to another. And that's going to be very helpful into what it is we need to do. So that concludes this video. Although I do want to say you're probably going to want to remember how to convert things because this will pop up later. In the next video, you notice how we've only had one thing inside each of these little variables? Yeah, we can put multiple things inside of them. So in the next video, we're going to talk about lists.